water. How beautiful it looks, reflecting light, always moving, always changing, adapting to the new environment like a chameleon. How easily it moves across its obstacles, across this divine vessel, a golden vessel, the body of a golden god.
It's a Friday once again.
Hello and welcome back, my fellow freaks. I hope you guys have had a great week. I had a pretty swell one. We are back this Friday with another movie review. This week we are looking at Skinner from 1993, directed by Ivan Nagy. I assume that's how it's pronounced. I can't really remember how I ended up stumbling upon this film. All I know is that on IMDb, the first selection is Fossum, and I thought, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to deal with Fossum. No, thankfully, guess what? It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi. Don't panic. We don't have to go on to Fossum. If you like Fossum, get the fuck off this channel. But I can't remember exactly how I stumbled upon this film or what exactly about it made me think that it's worth watching. I think it had to do with one of my IMDb rabbit holes that I usually go on. It's been a while since I've really been on one, and I think I've only been on one once on stream. I can't remember if I found Skinner on the stream rabbit hole or if I found it like on my own. But either way, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure I was looking at some kind of disturbing movie and it showed up as like one of those little recommended or similar to suggestions. Actually, if I check my IMDb, I wonder if what I was looking at before I added it, if I added that also, then I could know the connection that I made. Okay, so that probably explains it. I think what I might have been looking at before Skinner was X-Ray, because I almost did X-Ray for Valentine's Day. And it was just like a recommended similar to, I read the description, it talked about a guy who's like skinning women in his free time. And I thought, hey, that sounds, you know, a man skinning women, that's right down my alley. So I said, what the hell, and I added it to my watch list. And lately I have been like actually scheduling out the movies that I plan to do every week. So I have all of March planned and all of April. When I was doing March, I was just like, you know what? What the hell? I'm really interested in this Skinner movie. Let's just fucking check it out. Who cares? I will give just about any movie a shot, you know? Let me tell you, I'm very glad. I'm so glad that I decided to give Skinner a chance, and I cannot wait to talk to you about it. But first, like always, if you're new here, hi, my name is STARGUTZZZ. Any crashing, running, weird, loud noises that you might hear in the background are my cats. Also, my reviews are a little bit more focused on elements or moments of the movie that I feel are more prominent, rather than just giving you guys like a play-by-play of what happens in the movie. In other words, I really refrain from giving spoilers as much as possible and focus on elements that make it good or bad, objectively, subjectively, whatever. But keep in mind, sometimes spoilers do arise as they pertain to the discussion that I'm having with the film. If you would like to watch Skinner before the rest of this review, which I highly recommend, you should watch this as blind as possible. I'm gonna tell you right now, watch it as blind as possible. If anything, listen to my synopsis and then decide like, hey, maybe I should watch this and then see this chick's opinion. Well, if you would like to do that, you can do so free on Tubi TV or Fossum and I think a few other places. But I'm a Tubi TV girl. I am not sponsored. Tubi, please sponsor me. I'm manifesting it. I'm manifesting it. I love your platform so much. So if you would like to watch Skinner, I will have the Tubi link to it in the description below, just to make it that much easier for you to go out and watch this movie. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. The story follows Dennis Skinner as he arrives to the home of a young couple named Jeff and Carrie. And by the way, Carrie is played by Ricki Lake. The Ricki Lake, the trash daytime TV Ricki Lake. And if you lost a little weight, you'd look like Ricki Lake. She's beautiful, by the way. She is a gorgeous ass woman. Anyway, where the fuck was I at? The story follows Dennis Skinner as he arrives to the home of a young couple named Jeff and Carrie in search of renting a room. Although Jeff is a truck driver and is often away from home, leaving Carrie alone with the strange man who he believes his wife is cheating on him with. This is far from the truth, however, as the narrative becomes a slow build over what Dennis's recreational activities truly are. Alongside this, Dennis is being unknowingly hunted by his very first victim, Heidi, who seeks revenge not only for herself, but all the other women that Skinner has maimed and killed over the years. Oh, the story is so cool. The story is so cool. Like, as soon as this movie began, dude, I was hooked. I was drawn the fuck in. It has such a cool tone to it. Right off the bat, you immediately get like this noir mystery tone. In my notes, I kept kind of calling it a comic book, and I guess I could make that comparison. It did feel like a DC comic, or like I said, maybe a comic noir. It gave that vibe. It gave that vibe, and it's so strong throughout the whole thing. I don't know how to explain it other than watching this movie is like seeing, it gives comic book vibe. It gives a comic book vibe. I don't know. You need to watch it. You will probably immediately know what I'm talking about once you start watching it. But anyway, the story's really good. There was never a moment in the story where I felt bored or tired. It kept me drawn in. I was enthralled. I wanted to know more. I wanted to follow that slow build to figure out not only what's going on with Dennis, but also what's going on with Heidi. Like, these two, okay, well, let's get into it. Let's just get into it. So like I've already kind of gotten into, the first thing you notice about this film is how it looks. This movie is so gorgeous. I'm sorry, but a movie about a guy skinning women, like a serial killer, doesn't have this much business being so pretty. And not a single detail in it is forgotten either. Like, the artistic direction of this film is incredible, and it whacks you in the face with it right in the opening credits and never lets up. It is consistent throughout, and some of the small little details that get included, you can tell that, like, I don't know, there's care put into this movie. Somebody really gives a shit about making this movie. Primarily from the artistic direction. This is such an artsy film. Now, it's not artsy in the sense of like, oh, it's artsy weird, like maybe some people would think of Eraserhead. No, it's like a run-of-the-mill horror, slightly disturbing movie. But the art direction of it is just so pretty. The colors, the lighting, the shadows, the use of shadow and light. Like, man, the way that some scenes utilize warm and cool tones together, the way that one color will completely engulf a scene to create the mood and the tone, the combination of different colors. I mean, oh, it's beautiful. It's just so beautiful. And for the amount of like fucked up shit that ends up happening in this movie, even through all the fucked up shit, it remains so pretty. Some of the colors that I feel like I could compare it to, which let me just say, it's hard to compare this movie to anything. It's so uniquely its own. But if I could make one comparison, I would say that sometimes the color palettes really remind me of the use of color and lighting in Stuart Gordon's From Beyond. I feel like one of the best examples of how it utilizes both horror and this just very beautiful artistic style. Now, his name, Dennis Skinner, skins women, as I mentioned. In the IMDb synopsis, it mentions that, so I don't necessarily consider that a spoiler. But even when this act is taking place, there is so much attention to detail and so much focus on the artistic side of the film, even while he's skinning somebody. Like, I don't know if I'll show it or not, but there's a scene where he's pulling a woman's skin off of her face and it reveals the muscles underneath, and the lighting is like, all I remember is that how red her face was, and then once the skin is removed, there's this underlight of like purpley pink that hits it just right, that hits it just like something you would see from beyond, from beyond. And it's such a good example of what I mean. I'll probably show it. I mean, it has to be like one of the top prettiest horror movies I've ever seen. And like I said, it remains pretty even when there's like crazy fucked up shit going on. And listen, I wouldn't exactly call this a disturbing movie, but at the same time it is. It's not disturbing to the extreme that some of the other movies that I've talked about and will talk about are going to be. We're gonna get into that in the next section. But for as graphic and disturbing as this movie is, like, I don't know, man. The artistic direction of the movie and how it feels like a comic book or like a noir mystery, I wasn't expecting to be receiving that from this movie. I mean, I don't even know if I mentioned it yet, but it's not just like the lighting and stuff, but the character designs, the use of the music is incredible throughout. The way that it adds to the tone, the way the characters look, the set designs, everything, it's just every small detail is. And there's one more small detail that I want to touch on before moving on to the next section, which is just, I'll put like a little snippet right here.
Carrie? Oh, you cut yourself. Look at that.
It's nothing, really. Like, why didn't you just go set the table? Dinner will be ready in about 20 minutes, okay?
Sunday evening at the Pacific Union warehouse downtown. The body was found after employees at the packing plant complained about an unusual odor coming from the facility storage lockers. Authorities are refusing to speculate on whether this murder is linked to 5 other skinning victims along the Moon Highway.
I love this scene. I love this scene so much. You know why? If you didn't notice, go back. While this like tense moment between Dennis and Carrie is taking place, you can hear a radio news report in the background about like a serial killer on the loose. This came out in 1993, way earlier than what I'm about to reference, but this is such a PT moment. This scene immediately reminded me of PT, where even the teeniest, tiniest details of the narrative are in background dialogue that, like, if you just so happen, you have to just so happen to be hearing it taking place in the background while the main thing is happening. What a great little touch. What a great little touch. This scene could have happened without the news report going in the background, but no, it has the news report in the background, and it just adds this whole other layer to how tense the scene is and how much anticipation is building over what Dennis is eventually going to do to Carrie. Oh god, it aids in the tone so much. It's this is what I mean, dude. The smallest little detail of this movie is thought about, and so chef kiss. Okay, now let's talk about the man himself. Let's talk about Dennis Skinner's character. Dennis Skinner is not... Hey. Huh? Do you mind? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Sorry. Sorry about that. Skinner is not a psychopath. He is not a sociopath. He is not a maniac. He is a lunatic. this guy, this character is such a lunatic. This man is loony as hell. In fact, I don't know if I have ever seen like a movie killer as loony as Dennis Skinner. Oh my god. If he isn't the most lunatic killer I've seen in a horror movie, he's at least one of the top lunatic killers. But I really want to say that I haven't seen like a killer character in a horror movie that is as much of a lunatic as Dennis Skinner. This guy's off his fucking marbles. He's off his fucking marbles. And not to mention the fact that Ted Raimi does an incredible job of playing a lunatic. Like I said, it's a slow build. It's a slow burn. He doesn't start that way, but he very slowly becomes more unhinged as the movie progresses. Now, I mean, I think obviously his character in general is unhinged, but to the audience, it doesn't become clear until I would say about 30 minutes in. You don't exactly know what his deal is. It is a little bit of a slow build. It feels like a slow build, but at the same time, it's perfectly paced because you're not waiting the entire movie to get your answer. Like I said, it happens about 30 to 40 minutes in. You start to recognize what his problem is, and it starts to fly off the handle a little. These moments too are also what Dennis considers his true self, and bro, once his true self is revealed to the audience, oh my god, it's just some of the wildest scenes I've ever seen. Now, like I kind of suggested in this past section, disclaimer, I feel like this is a disturbing movie. However, when I say that, it is not exactly on the same level of disturbing as disturbing films I've talked about in the past or disturbing movies that I will be going into on the channel in the future. It is definitely not the most shocking or the most extreme examples of disturbing that I've seen. However, with some of the shit that happens in this, I mean, yeah, I was disturbed. I can't sit here and lie and say that this movie didn't disturb me. Yeah, it wasn't the most shocking thing that I've seen, but I was still disturbed. Like, there are scenes that left me gagged. There are scenes when I first watched this, my jaw dropped. No, it's not disturbing in the same way as all the other movies, but it is still disturbing, okay? In a way, it's artistically disturbing because it's so focused on the art aspects, and yet at the same time, fucked up shit happens. One of the crazy scenes has to do with Dennis giving his backstory. That was interesting. His backstory, if true, and I feel like it is true. I don't exactly think he's an unreliable narrator. He seems too honest, but his backstory is wild. It's so wild. And just again, the way that Ted Raimi portrays him is incredible. He did such a fantastic job. And the scene of him giving the backstory, it sells it for me of how great this character is, man. This is a good character. I love it when there is like a good, fleshed out, thoughtful fucking character. I love Dennis Skinner. I don't know. I don't love him like that. He would skin me. But his character, I love what has happened with his character. I love the creation of his character. That's what I mean. Now I need to talk about the scene that had my jaw all the way onto the floor. If you have not seen Skinner, I highly recommend you skip this part. Please God, please Christian God, I need more people to go into this scene blind because it's fucking wild. So please, if you have not seen Skinner and you think that you would like to see Skinner, skip this part. Skip this part, please. It's gonna be the last part of this section, so just skip onto the next section to avoid it. Or I guess I can put a timestamp right here too, but it's literally just gonna be the next chapter also. And this is me like giving you time to move that way. Are they gone? Are they gone? Is it just us who have either seen the movie or don't give a shit about spoilers. Even though you need to watch the scene blind though. You really do. Can you guess which scene I'm about to talk about? We need to talk about when Dennis skins a black man and then wears the skin and then proceeds to chase a woman while saying some pretty mildly racist things. Like, did you hear me correct? Did you hear me correctly? When Dennis skins a black man, sews together a bodysuit of the black man's skin, wears it, and then acts like a caricature of a black man while chasing a white woman.
Yeah, I see you running. Now we start the funny.
My jaw was on the floor. This is like one of the wildest scenes I have seen. Like one of the top wildest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. This is like the moment when Dennis has gone completely off of his fucking rocker.
Yeah, I think so. I think I just sort of hurt my head or something, but everything's just fine.
And it's just, I mean, it's, every time I watch this scene, it's crazy. It's so crazy. Now, obviously, yes, there are some pretty, like, racist undertones in this scene, especially with Dennis. Is this still considered blackface? I feel like it counts, especially when he is acting the way he is while wearing this man's skin. So that alone is like one thing. But it just, oh my god, watching this scene go down, I was just like, this man's a lunatic. This is, I've never seen something like this in a horror movie. This man's a fucking lunatic. But even that aside, like, let's say if it wasn't a black man's skin, right? If it was just any kind of skin, just this scenario in general is so disturbing and terrifying and crazy. And then you kind of like put the racist layer on top of that and it makes it even more wild. I don't really have much to say about it other than it's just, I was gagged. It's probably one of the top craziest scenes I've ever seen in any movie. And to top it off, he doesn't, what do you think he does? What do you think he does with that skin when he's done with it? Do you think he just, like, leaves it in his little hiding place? No, the man walks home in it. The man brings his man suit home with him while Carrie and Jeff are sleeping in bed. What's he gonna do with it? Like, is he gonna hang it up in the closet like as a part of his wardrobe? It's gonna stink. It's rotting skin. Was he just gonna throw it in the trash? Why did he bring it home with him? That's crazy. Anyway, I just really needed to something about that scene off my chest, because guess whose camera battery died? I guess that is a signal to move on to the next section. I would like to talk about Heidi's narrative. Now listen, big fan of Heidi. I love Heidi so much. I think I might have already mentioned it, but Heidi is literally the coolest character of this movie, but also just like one of the top coolest character designs and characters in general, I guess, that I've seen ever. More than just her appearance though, I also love her narrative or her plot, her backstory, her reason for being there, and the revenge plot, obviously. I'm a sucker for it, okay? But I just have one teeny tiny, itsy bitsy, little teeny tiny complaint. Just one. It's just one. And it's just really teeny tiny. Heads up, this might be a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm about to talk about some of Heidi's backstory, like why she's in the movie, why she's hunting Dennis, etc., etc. If you consider that a spoiler, it might be time to skip to the conclusion, because that's going to be this whole discussion. And like I said, it's just the teeniest, tiniest little thing in this movie that overall is just so detailed and well thought out and just well done. Heidi says that she has been hunting Dennis for 5 years. Also that, you know, she thinks that she is his first victim. She's been hunting him for 5 years. So he's been doing this for at least 5 years. And of course, we don't know what this 5 years looks like, right? Like maybe it looks completely different. Maybe she has been following him this whole time, as I kind of feel. Or maybe this is her hometown and he has returned to a spot that he is familiar with, because that kind of seems to be a focus of his character. It's not clear to the audience. But what we do see in the movie is how she watches him from afar a lot. Well, okay, maybe it's not like a lot. I counted 2 times where she just straight up is watching him from afar. One time where they have an altercation, and then the conclusion of the film. So at least for the duration of the film, she could have followed him at any point. Actually, she followed him once. Why did she never, like, follow him further, like, where he's staying? She's been hunting him for 5 years, but there's a good chunk of the movie where she's watching him from afar and doing nothing, or straight up has like an altercation with him. And then in the conclusion, she says, "I finally found you. I finally found you," as if she has not been watching from a distance. Which, by the way, here's a badass scene.
You've become so predictable. Even after all this time.
I like that one. It's good. But she could have followed him at any point. She's been watching him from afar. She knows where he's at. She could have followed him. Another character ends up following him kind of for her. But it took you 5 years? Did you follow him like the entire time? Or like what? Like I don't know. It's again just like a teeny tiny detail. It really isn't much of anything. If it's just, maybe it just irks me too, you know? But when she said that she was hunting him for 5 years, meanwhile she's been watching him from afar the entire fucking film, and proved that at least one time that she has the capability to follow him, and then at the end has the nerve to say that she finally found him, as if she didn't find him 3 other times in the movie. Who cares? Who cares? Otherwise, I'm so obsessed with Heidi and the story in general. I just wish that maybe there was a part of like that aspect of her story that was either just like adjusted a little, or at the very least was clarified a little bit more. Like how heavily has she been hunting him? Because if it's to the same degree that we see in the movie, then like there is no "I finally found you." He's been done found. So overall, this movie, you know, it feels like a slow burn, like a slow build, yet at the same time, I feel like it's very well paced. It doesn't make you wait forever to get answers, while still maintaining like that mystery noir tone. I really, really love everything about this movie, and I'm so happy that I decided to watch it. Everything about it is just so well thought out. The art direction is incredible. There's so many gorgeous scenes while also maintaining a very disturbing and sinister tone. All of the actors and actresses do a great job, especially the performances from Ted Raimi and Tracy Lords, who plays Heidi. Man, everything about the movie was just like, it was so shocking, yet so gorgeous. And I love the narrative, I love the characters, I love the character designs and so many of the scenes. And there were moments that had me gagged. It has such a strong artistic and aesthetic presence in it. Like, and because of all of this, it's such a unique horror movie. This is so unique. Like I said before, I can't think of anything to really compare this movie to. You know, beyond the comparison of some of the lighting, or no, some of the color choices, remind me of From Beyond. That's the only thing that I can think to compare this movie with. Otherwise, it's just so, it's so unique. It's so, if you love horror movies, especially like killer, serial killer, slasher type movies, I highly recommend this movie to you. Again, it's free on Tubi. Free on Tubi. Link is in the description. I'm not sponsored. I hope to be one day. I mean, I feel like you guys could probably guess the tier that I'm about to give this movie, and it's more than deserved. I'm sorry. It's so awesome. This is such a good film. It's getting the A tier, my guy. Other than the little nitpicky thing about Heidi's narrative, I really don't have a single bad thing to say about Skinner. It's just so well crafted as a whole, like down to the tiniest little details, dude. Check this movie out. It's free on Tubi. We talked about fan service last week. Well, listen, I need a sequel that is Skinner versus Heidi. I need it so bad. I love their dynamic so much, the very little that we got to see of it on screen. I kind of wish we had gotten to see it more, but then again, I do feel like it was a little bit of a comedic dynamic that could have really lowered the quality of the tone. You get my drift? So it's probably good that we didn't see them interact a whole lot and just got the little bit that we did. But man, fan service movie, I need Skinner versus Heidi. And with that, we are done with yet another movie review. Thank you guys so much if you made it all the way to the very end. If you like this video, make sure to stab that like button. It's a free and easy way to help support the channel and let me know that I'm doing a good job. I very much appreciate it. Also, if you just liked this video so much that you want to hear me talk about more B-movies, obscure horror movies, or disturbing cinema, consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified every time I make a new upload. Which, by the way, I do a new movie review every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is there a movie that you would like me to check out? Put it in the comments and maybe you will see it reviewed on this channel. Thank you so much to anyone who considers liking or subscribing. I appreciate it a whole lot. Sometimes I go live. It's been a while since I have. It's something that I would still like to implement in the future. So for when I do, you can find me here, and the days will vary depending on my schedule, but I will usually go live about 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then somewhere here on the screen are some other socials that you can find me at if you feel so inclined to follow me there. Again, just thank you so much if you stayed all the way until the very end. Time is precious. We don't have a whole lot of it, and the fact that you used your time to listen to me ramble about this like kind of strange, obscure horror movie from the 90s that has Ricki Lake in it, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. If I don't see you in a live stream, I will see you in next week's video. Have a good night and stay safe out there.
Gonna chase down a job, I think.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.